What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning back into Chase Games here, and today we're going to talk about the Sage that comes in about a week, November 6th, I believe, for Global Tact, and basically all of what's going to be in Part 3, which is basically the Sage and her weapon. The cave that I talked about in the roadmap that I wasn't sure about, it is just the stage to get her weapons, so Part 3 is going to have a login bonus, no surprise there. The Sage, the last chapter of story, which is probably just 5 stages. The cave for her weapon. Did I say that enough times? Probably another shard, an orichalcum piece in the shop, because you can see here these caves seem to drop one. I would believe it's each difficulty. Yeah, so each difficulty is going to drop an orichalcum fragment, and I believe there should be 4 more available, so there's going to be these 3 and probably 1 more in the shop. So when you do, this is very obvious, and I didn't pay attention to it. If you did not get all of the orichalcum shards in Part 1 and Part 2, okay, there's 16 total, you need 15 for the weapon. Each extra shard gives you 50 S-rank Omni Sword Stones, so you can reroll S-rank swords 50 times per orichalcum shard that you trade in, so they're all worth getting, although they're very expensive to use, and I'm out of gold, so thanks. Anyway, let's take a quick look at this weapon. You got a 4% spell potency and 28% wisdom on it. Alright, so obviously this is a casting weapon. So the big rolls are her Platinum Cannon ability, Mighty Storm, 8%, and typical, you know, gold, Rainbow's 8, Gold 7, Silver 6, Bronze 5. Okay. So MP plus 24. This is I wouldn't suggest it going for MP. I think there are MP weapons just as good. Wisdom plus 10 is the max roll. I think that if you got, look, if you get a good triple roll for one ability, keep it. If you get a good triple wisdom roll, I would keep that as well. With how bad this agility, or how bad this weapon system is, the first thing you get, even if you don't have the Sage, dude, if you get a god roll on her potency, just keep it, okay? There's lots of mage weapons. And I don't know, depending on your playstyle, there are a handful of units that I just want, you know, it's more largely PvE at this point. If I'm trying to match a guide or work myself in a rotation order properly. Sometimes a little bit of agility works out, but then again, I think this is a good enough weapon that I would probably just go for straight wisdom or straight potency. But as far as a mage weapon, that is not a bad amount of agility. If you got a triple gold agility roll on this, or 2 golds and a silver, something like that, I might keep it. So, but you guys know I'm not the expert on stuff like that. So let's look at what she actually does. I've got her here at 1 Awakening and Master Rank 35. Now, I've had some whales tell me, I've had a couple of whales tell me that this unit is very exciting at Awakening 5. And hey, what isn't? But we'll look at that. So I'll show her Awaken 5 stats here just for a moment. Goes up to 500 Wisdom. Pretty good. 424, I believe, is good for 1 Awakening. So her HP is fine. I think that's average. MP attack doesn't matter. Defense 316, so that's just the low side of average. 395 is not fast, but as far as casters go, some of them could be a lot slower. So if you're talking about regular arena, regular GVG content, as long as you're not going against an opponent that's stacking agility, you can put your own agility gear on her, and she will be fast enough to outspeed a lot of things with full agility gear. I'm not talking about putting, you know, the cloak of the agility cloak on her, and then she's going faster than other units. No, she will go somewhat early in the turn order if you put her as much agility equipment on her as possible. Alright, so move 2, no shock there, and 60 move. Okay, it's the first. Well, the last 2 units have both been 65, so this, she's actually only 60 like most heroes. Okay, so her first move, Fast Chant, raises the user's agility and grants the user 1.5 spell potency for 1 turn. Now, obviously, this is going to depend on your tactics, but I mean, if you're in a turtle strategy and you're not already using something like Jamiris to increase your agility, the ability to go second on the first turn and behind after the opponent first, and then before them on the second, can be quite strong, especially with extra potency. So I could see this her being very dangerous in the right setup. She does have a heal. Okay, it's range 1 to 3, just like Seraphi's Angelic Charm. I believe hers also needs to target something in the middle. So you do have to. That's what this little X here means in the targeting pattern. It does need to focus on a target in the center. Heals a major amount of HP and raises spell resistance for all allies in area of effect. So this is unique so far, I believe. We're about a month away from getting a unit that's going to increase breath resistance on their multi-heal. Obviously, that's not the same thing, but we're going to start getting more things like this. So, yeah, raising spell resistance can be useful, obviously. It's a lot more useful if you're on a Sage of Spell Damage. This is a 1 through 4 range ability. It's a single target major typeless spell. So, I mean, it's Psy Cannon, but better. Again, she's only move 2, so it's not sick range, but pretty good. And then this ability... Now, I made a big deal about this a few months ago. If you haven't watched me, then I'll do the same thing. Mighty Storm deals major Whoosh-type spell damage and major Zam-type spell damage in area of effect. And you see it does a 3x3 area in front of her. And you kind of look at a range like this, a spell like this, on a hero and think, well, that's her coup de grace, right? No! She ain't got one. There's no coup de grace. Okay? She can use this turn 1. She can use this turn 2 and 3. Okay? She can use this after she raises her spell potency by 1.5 times. Obviously, I don't know exactly what kind of damage it's going to do, but it's going to be a major whoosh and a major zam. So that's going to be really strong. By the way, I'm blocking it a little bit, but you can see, obviously, her leader skill is hero spell potency plus 20%. Okay, so these are amazing attacks. We do have options for whoosh and zam type damage now, but not tons of them. And they're not... Hargan, I don't know. I don't know if I love Hargan in Arena. He definitely has use. But you have to put agility on him, and it brings his damage down quite a bit. Then again, I also have a 1 Awaken Hargan, so kind of sucks. Let's see. So, her character perk, this is 0 Awakening, restores 50% of the user's max HP and MP. It's important in PvE stuff. When HP drops below 50% or less, greatly raises Wisdom for 3 turns 1 time for battle. So, that's like the Dragon Lord's OG Blossom thing. You know, he restores half of his health and gets the double Wisdom boost for 3 turns. Except she's also restoring MP. So that's awesome. She has, you know, she's not especially weak as far as most units go. So there's no reason for her to be one-shot more than anything else. So going below 50% and then healing back 50% is pretty awesome. So you're almost always going to need 2 or 3 hits to take her down. Depending on... Her weaknesses are Frizz and Sizz. That's actually bad. I don't know if that... It depends on... a strong Sorrow will still one-shot her depending on your gear. So be careful there. Let's see. Okay, so getting down, obviously, we got the stat increases, but the first Awakening is Enchanting Echo. This is just like Veronica. Okay, so she's got a 20% chance to repeat her spell at 50% damage. The third Awakening, just a general spell potency plus 5, not just her main ability. Okay, it's going to be spell potency plus 5%, so that's all of her abilities. Runaway magic chance, so you know that's crit for those that forget. So her crit chance is up 5%, and her Echo chance goes from 20 to 25%. Okay, so that's it's not a flashy awakening, but it's pretty good. And then the 5th awakening is the same thing again. So 5% on all spells. Yeah, 5% on crit chance, and then that enchanting echo goes up to a 30% chance. I would imagine this has to go off the action and not per strike. So I don't believe that you're going to have two 30% chances when you use Mighty Storm. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how that works on abilities like this. So I don't know why she's so much better at full awakening. I think it's going to be like I've talked about this with a couple of physical units like Sorrow and Nocturnus, where their stat increases are more valuable because they're stacking them. She is getting all of her spell potency boosted by 10% through her awakenings, and she's getting, compared to Awaken 1, she's getting 10% potency and 20% wisdom. As well as, if you're using her potency increase, her 1.5 potency increase turn 1, obviously that is getting even stronger. That's that's multiplicative basically. I believe that's the right way to say it, with her increases. So that's it proportionally it's the same jump, but it's a bigger jump number wise than anyway. So yeah, she's gonna be really strong. So 500 wisdom, I don't know if that's especially high for a max awaken caster. 466 agility, that means that compared to most of what I see in Arena, you're going to be outspeeding a lot of things. So with agility equipment, but again, that's assuming an opponent that's unequipped for agility. So anyway, yeah, this is she's a really useful unit. I don't think I could tell anybody to actually go for her. I don't think people should go for most units now, even though I broke that rule and I'm going for Zenlon, but I don't practice what I preach, because this is what I do and I'm very addicted to this game. It is a gambling addiction and I got it. So anyway, I don't suggest going for her, but if you get her with tickets, you'll be very lucky. I suggest awakening her with fragments if possible. And enjoy her, because she's great. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody, and good luck in your polls and your drop rates and whatnot, and I'll be back soon with more.